Warning, some of the subject material covered in this episode of the Black Swan Diaries may be triggering or disturbing. Take care of yourself and don't be afraid to seek help. It's okay not to be okay. Hey guys! So welcome back to the second episode. Today I'm going to be telling you in a lot more detail my story about what my life's been like with mental illness. We'll get back to dance and stuff next week, but it's important that you know this so going forward you can understand where I'm coming from. So like I said in the last video, and like most of you at this point probably know, I have struggled with mental illness my whole life. I don't remember a life before anxiety or depression. I don't really remember feeling differently. But I was different. From the beginning, my family's always said I was extremely intelligent. I walked early, talked early, could read before I went to preschool. My family loved my quirks and my weirdness and embraced me just the same, but the kids at school didn't. I was the perfect target. I was chubby and awkward, I was nerdy, I had glasses, but even outside of that, I was just different. It would be more than a decade before we figured it out, but I was on the autism spectrum. That was the root of my social and communication problems. Around the country, girls and children of color are underdiagnosed with autism at an alarming rate. Though there is a codified set of behaviors that constitute autism spectrum disorders, they present differently in every person with autism. That's why girls and children of color are often underdiagnosed. I was highly intelligent but had serious sensory and cognitive issues. I was overly anxious and fearful all the time. I was prone to meltdowns and sensory overloads, and I had poor grooming and hygiene. I used control and rigidity to regulate my stress, and yet I was still suffering. Looking back, it's all so obvious. When I was 12, I was diagnosed with ADHD and major depressive disorder. We later found out that diagnosis was wrong, but it's all we had at the time. Misdiagnosis can lead to children missing out on early interventions. Lack of intervention can leave a child on the autism spectrum struggling with social and cultural norms, struggling to communicate, and generally kind of floating. That's what happened to me. But we had no way of knowing that yet. So I was just the weird kid that everyone made fun of. I was the target of severe bullying from about the age of 7 up through middle and high school. Over the years, I learned to hide and stuff down all of the traits of my personality that I was made fun of for, but on the inside I was definitely still hurting. I'll never forget this one kid in 3rd grade told me that I was so ugly and so fat that he wouldn't ever touch me. With his manhood. What? Yes, his junk. We were 8. That was when dance became my saving grace. I had built-in friends, a routine with structure, and something to progress in and get good at. It became my lifeline. A lot of the damage, however, was already done. There was no way I could get all the self-esteem and self-worth back that I had lost from those years of bullying. So I pretended. I hid it. On the outside, I tried to be cool and smart and funny and popular, tried to masquerade as the girl everyone thought I was, but inside I was still suffering, drowning. You won't want to believe it, but this is the face of a girl with an eating disorder who contemplated suicide daily. All because I felt that I was too different, too strange, too awkward, too everything to fit in or be worthy of being here. Even making this vlog today, I had a hard time finding videos and photos of myself from middle and high school. I thought I was so ugly I didn't deserve to be in pictures, so I avoided them. I was behind the camera. I've got hundreds of photos that I took of people that I don't know anymore and couldn't recognize if they passed me on the street. But I was so insecure and so unhappy with myself that for years I avoided photos altogether, and now I don't have anything to show you. And not only that, I didn't really have friends who wanted to hang out with me for a good portion of my teenage years. I had moved states, I didn't really know anyone, and no one wanted to get to know me, so I was by myself a lot. So I guess what I really want you to know is that you're not alone. A lot of people make labels out to be a bad thing, but sometimes when you've been struggling for a long time to figure out who you are, why you're different, what makes you unique, why you tick, why you have trouble with certain things, why you're good at other things. You need them. They're not always hurtful, and they help. You feel better when you have a label sometimes, and that's your choice. Lots of people without mental illness or neurotypical people will say that labels are a bad thing. We should get rid of labels, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not how that works. In all honesty, I see labels as freeing, and it's your identity. You decide what you do with it, not anyone else. And whoever you are, however you got here, whatever you identify as, whatever diagnosis you have, whatever disabilities you may have, what's important for you to know is that you're enough the way you are. You deserve to be comfortable being your unique, silly, weird self, no matter what. I'm a professional ballerina, I sing and I act, and I'm on the autism spectrum, and I have multiple mental illnesses. And I'm really, really proud of that. Because God made me great just the way I am, and I'm thankful.